Get a postcard from me?
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We're glad that you're here this morning. We're glad to have our 7th graders leading us in prayer. We're glad to have you participating in prayer, and we hope that you will help us lift your voices in song, in spoken word, by showing our students how well they've done by smiling and by having our regular worshipers know how the continuity, we were just talking about that this morning, the continuity of how we pass tradition on is by having a full cross-section in our community worshiping together, and that's what we're blessed to do this morning. So if you would, please join us on page 192, as we will begin with the singing of Ma Tovu.
Ma Tovu Ohalech Hayakol Ishkenaltecha Yisrael Ani B'roch Hasecha Avod Beitecha Eshtahaveh Eved Kol Koshecha
And we say, praised to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh chol basar, umafli la'asot. Elohai neshama shenatate bi, my God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Baruch atah Adonai, asher b'yado nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol basar ish. Please join us on page 198.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech v'na lahavhin ben yom uven laila. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir shena me'einai utnuma me'afapai. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben horin. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Join me please on page 204 as we continue with the blessing for Torah study. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav b'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Let's share this passage together on page 270. This is the 207, the teachings of Maimonides around the giving of tzedakah. There are 8 degrees in the giving of tzedakah, each one higher than the one before. To give grudgingly, reluctantly, or with regret. To give less than one should, but with grace. To give what one should, but only after being asked. To give before one is asked. To give without knowing who will receive it, although the recipient knows the identity of the giver. To give without making known one's identity. To give so that neither giver nor receiver knows the identity of the other. To help another to become self-supporting by means of a gift, a loan, or by finding employment for the one in need. We continue on page 215 with the singing of Ashrei, page 215.
Ashrei yoshvei beiteha, ozer chalelu hasela.
Ashrei na'ashrei kapalo, ashrei na'ashrei
Tehillah le'David, eromim ha'Elohai ha'melech, ve'evarcha shimha le'olam va'ed. Gadol Adonai u'huol ve'od, u'li gvuato ein heker. Hedar kavod hodeha, v'divrei nifloteha asiha. Zeherav tuvcha yabiu, v'tzidkatcha yeranenu. Tov Adonai lakol, v'rahamav al kol ma'asav. Kivod malchut hayameru, uvratcha yedaberu. Malchut ha-malchut kol olamim, umem shaltecha behodor vador. Enei ochol elecha yesaberu, ve'ata noten lechem et ochlam beito. Sadik Adonai beho derahav, ve'hasid beho ma'asav. Ritzon ve'achav ya'aseh, ve'et Shabbatam yishma v'yoshiem. Tehilat Adonai yedaber pi, v'varech kol basar, shem kodsho le'olam va'ed.
Page 218 as we continue with the singing of Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
of page 223 as we continue together. You shall always be praised, great and holy God, our sovereign in heaven and on earth. Songs of praise and psalms of adoration become you, acknowledging your might and your dominion. Yours are strength and sovereignty, sanctity, grandeur, and glory always. We offer our devotion, open our hearts in acclamation. Baruch atah Adonai, El Melech Gadol Batishbachot, El HaHodaot, Adon HaNiflaot, Habocher B'Shirei Zimra, Melech Elchei Ha'olamim. We continue on page 224.
Yitgadal v'yitgadal Shemei Rabbah Be'alma tifrachi rute Be'amlich malchute B'chayet honu yomecho U'chayet kol beit Yisrael V'it Rama, V'it Naseh, V'it Hadar, V'it Halel, V'it Halal, Shemei Dekudesha, Parehu, Le'elam Mikol Birchata, Meshirata, Tushbechata, B'ne'emata, Tamiram Be'hava, V'meru, Amen.
We continue now as we turn to page 226 as we rise for our call to worship the Baruch Hu.
Bose shalom v'rei et takol. Ha'meir v'aretz u'adarim olia v'rahamim. Uvtu vo ma'adesh b'chol yom tamid. Ma'aseh v'reishit. Ma'arabu ma'asecha Adonai. Kulam b'chokma asita ma'al ha'aret kinyanecha. Yitbarach Adonai Eloheinu. Ha'shiba ma'aseh yedecha. V'al ma'orei or shahasita. Yefaharua Sarah, or Hadash al Sir Ta'ir, Mitzhi Kulani Ma'amra Oro, Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer Hamarot.
Ahava Rabbah, Ahavtanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Chemla Gedola V'Teira Chamalta Aleinu. Ba'avur Avotenu V'Imotenu Shibatchu V'cha. Vat Lamdem Chu Kain Chayim Kain Techolnenu. Ut Lamdenu Chamrachem Rachem Aleinu. V'tein b'libenu lahavim ulhaskil lishmoa. Lilmod ul'lamid lishmor v'la'asot ul'kayim. Et kol divrei Talmud, Toratecha v'ahava. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us, truly. You drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praised be you, Adonai, who chooses your people, Israel, in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue praying responsively. The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not without sword against nation, nor yard war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor, asks God.
You know that the Eternal One defends, holds the righteous.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed God, preserve.
Mi hamoha baye Adonai, mi hamoha nectar behodesh, nora tehilot, o sefer, nora tehilot, o sefer. Shira bahar shibahu gaolim, lifshah. Lishimcha al Safat Hayam Ahad Ulam Hodu Vahamlim Hu Va'arum Adonai Imo Adonai Imo Leolam Va'ed. Surah Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael Ufte kinu mecha Yehuda veYisrael, Ga'al Adonai, ve'ata samo Kiddush Yisrael, Baruch ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
We continue as we rise for the tefillah.
Adonai Sevad Yiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Omel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרא שרה.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מנהל הכל אתה, רב להושיע. Mashiach u'marid Hashem, mehakel hayim behesed, mehayeh adom berakavim rabim, tomek noflim be'oher holim, u'matir asurim, u'menayem emunato lishenei afar.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ליד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוא הארץ ודור ודור נגיד קוד לך.
Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor ta'merit olam. B'nei Uvein b'nei Yisrael Ogi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor ta'merit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor ta'merit olam. Vayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'nafash Shabbat v'nafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dor ta'merit olam.
Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu ratzah b'nochatenu kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha v'tan chalkenu b'toratecha shabanu mitavacha v'shemachenu b'yisochatecha v'tar lebenu le'avodecha b'emet v'hanlechenu Adonai Eloheinu v'ahavat u'ratzon Shabbat kedeshecha v'yanochu va Yisrael mikadesh shemacha Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat.
Yitzeh Adonai Eloheinu b'amcha Yisrael u'filatam be'ahava tikabel u'ti laratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha el karov v'chul koriav porei el avadecha v'chuknenu shafoch ruchacha alenu. Modim anachnu la sha'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu avotenu v'imotenu le'olam va'ed zur hayenu magen yishenu atahu lador vadur. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, your miracles that we experience every day, for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of the day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, forever we put our hope in you.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha, hein behesed urahamim berahamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Marheinu Yosreinu kulanu ke'echad.
Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, Torah Chaim ve'ahavat hafez, ve'ahavat hesed, u'tzedakah ve'achar ve'achim, ve'chaim ve'shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, Torah uvracha, Ein ve'chesed ve'rachamim ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, v'chov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, v'chol et v'chol shah, v'shlomecha, sim shalom, Torah uvracha, Ein ve'chesed ve'rachamim ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha.
We take a couple of moments, each of us, all of us, in silence, in prayer, in meditation.
Please turn to page 260 for the Lihi of Ronson. Lihiu livronson imrefi veigon libi livanecha. Lihiu livronson imrefi veigon libi livanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, vego alami. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, vego ali. Okay, now please turn to page 363.
We continue now. We go to the core of this morning's service, which is our Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of Torah, which, as David correctly noted, can be found on page 363. And just before we get started, friends who are our regular attendees, so nice to have a mix of those of you who are leading this morning, those of you who attend each week. Stitch together for us, if you could, we'll do a Mad Libs version, in a couple of sentences, where we are in our story of Exodus. Who knows the name of today's Parsha? Who knows where we are in our Torah reading cycle? Mrs. Rosenberg. Mrs. Rosenberg, who's about to read Torah, where are we? We're in Parshat Yitro. And what does Yitro mean? Jethro, right? And who was... My friends at the back who come every week. Who was Jethro? Who was he? And don't tell me the rock version. Tell me who the biblical version was. Ellen.
Jethro was Moses' father-in-law, a Midianite priest.
Right. Right? Did everybody hear that? Right. He was the father-in-law of Moses. He was a Midianite priest. And what else do we know about where we are in our story? If I were to ask for the Cliff's Notes, where are we? We're in Exodus. So where do we know geographically? Where are we in our story? Are we in Israel? We're kind, right? We're in between. We're on our way. We are leaving. We've left Egypt. Moses' father, Yitro, about whom we just heard, he hears of the great miracles which God performed for the people of Israel and comes from Midian to the Israelite camp, bringing with him Moses' wife, whose name is, this is the bonus question, Zipporah, right? Moses' wife Zipporah, and 2 sons. And Jethro advises Moses to appoint a hierarchy, a kind of structure. We're going to talk a little bit more about this afternoon. A hierarchy and a structure of magistrates and judges, some people to help lead, to assist him in the task of governing and administering justice to the people. The children actually of Israel camp opposite Mount Sinai. That's where they are physically, where they are told that God has chosen them to be God's kingdom of priests and a holy nation. The people respond by proclaiming all that God has spoken. We shall what? We shall do, right? They are hearing and they are prepared to do is what they say. So on the 6th day of the 3rd month of Sivan, 7 weeks after the actual exodus from Egypt, the entire nation of Israel assembles at the foot of Mount Sinai. God, we are told, descends the mountain. So God comes down the mountain amidst thunder and lightning and lots of smoke. So I joked before that we were going to have some pyrotechnics in this service, but we're not really, right? There is this moment, this really powerful visual moment where there is a lot of noise and a lot of smoke and a lot of light, and we are meant to pay attention visually to what this moment must have been like. So God comes down the mountain a little bit, and there's a shofar blast. This would have been a perfect time, Mr. Adar, a shofar blast. So God, we are told, comes down the mountain a little bit, and Moses comes up the mountain a little bit. So we are struck not just by what it must have looked like, but that moment in which God comes down and Moses comes up so that they meet in the proverbial middle to have this incredible experience. And God there, which we are about to hear, proclaims the 10 Commandments, really the major artery for our people of who and how we are supposed to be. It pumps our blood out and back to our people, reminding us of what keeps us going and what we are meant for and how to keep ourselves healthy. And in it we hear that we shouldn't worship idols, we shouldn't take God's name in vain, we are to keep the Sabbath, keep Shabbat, we are to honor our parents, not to murder, not to commit adultery, not to steal, and not to bear false witness or covet another's property. And the people cry out to Moses at this pivotal moment that the revelation, this moment at Sinai, with all that we can imagine it was too much. And the people actually say, Moses, you have this moment, and then distill it down for us because it's too powerful for us. So we are about to hear that moment, those moments of wonder and awe and instruction. As we turn to page 362, I invite please our Torah honorees at the beginning of our service, Marcia and Abby, to open the ark. We say, assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children, who do not yet know it, hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. Please rise.
Yerushalayim, ki
In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Le'ro Yisrael, b'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Baruch Adonai iti, u'ramamol Shemo Yavta.
Please be seated. I said I just needed one more hand at the open ark just to juggle everything, but that's the amazing part about being in community, that there were many other hands to help turn the pages, to help hold the Torah, to help undress the Torah, to help lead services, and that is really among the core of what we learn from our tradition, that we're not meant to do it single-handedly. We're meant to do it in community. We're meant to hear Torah in community. We're meant to say the blessing before and after Torah reading, and we're meant to be in community, not to be in isolation. We are hearing this morning our Torah read, our Parshat Yitro read, Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 14. You will find that, I believe, on page 477. Page 477, we have our blessing, our aliyah this morning being offered by Emily, and our reader this morning is Mrs. Rosenberg. So page 477 is where you will find it.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vaydaber Elohim et kol hadvarim ha'ele lemor. Anochi Adonai Elohecha asher hotzeticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeit avadim לא יהיה לך אלוהים אחרים על פניי. לא תעשה לך פסל לכל תמונה, אשר בשמיים ממעל, ואשר בארץ מתחת, ואשר במים מתחת לארץ. לא תשתחווה לה ולא תרדם, כי אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך. אדוני אלוהיך אלקנה פוקד עוון אבות על בנים ועל שלישים ועל רבעים לשונאי, ועושה חסד לאלפים ואהובי ושומרי מצוותיי. לא תישא את שם אדוני אלוהיך לשווא, כי לא ינקה אדוני את אשר יישא את שמו לשווא. זכור את יום השבת לקדשו, ששת ימים תעבוד ועשית כל מלאכתך. ביום השביעי שבת לאדוני אלוהיך. לא תישא כל מלאכה אתה ובנך וביתך, ועבדך ואמתך ואמתך וגרך אשר בשעריך. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, את הים ואת כל אשר בם, וינח ביום השביעי. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת לקדשהו. כבד את אמך את אביך ואת אמך, למען יאריכון ימיך על האדמה אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך. לא תרצח, לא תנאף, לא תגנוב, לא תענה ברעך עד שקר. לא תחמוד בית רעך, לא תחמוד אשת רעך, ועבדו ואמתו ושורו, וכל אשר לרעך.
We continue now with the lifting and the redressing of Torah, and for that we invite Mr. Adar and invite you please at the same time to turn to page 370 and to rise. Please be seated. We continue now, and sorry, I am missing my list Thank you for it is in fact a beautiful boat, but I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm missing my list for Mishaberach, but let's hold in prayer all of those who we know who are struggling, those who for weakness of body and weakness of spirit need our prayers as we turn to page 371. As I look your way, if there is someone whom you would add for our list of prayers, of strength, of well-being, of patience, of good care, please, as I look your way, would you share that name aloud with us? We say, Mishaberach Avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their strength to be restored and their patience and courage and wellness to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and of spirit, and let us join together in saying, Amen.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha.
With our partner to our Torah reading, our reading from Haftarah, for which we have Torah reading from the book of Isaiah, chapter 6. You will find that in your Chumashim on page 507, and we have Caleb chanting the bracha beforehand, page 507.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'mivim tovim v'ratzav v'divrichem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'b'nbieh ha'emet b'tzedek.
Bishnat mot hamelech Uziyahu va'erei et Adonai Yoshev al kisei ram v'nisa v'shulav meleim et ha'hechal seraphim omdim imal lo shesh kinafayim le'echad bishtaim kinasei fanav ubishtaim v'chasei raglav ubishtaim ve'ofev v'kara ze el ze ve'amar kadosh 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 Adonai Tzivaot Meloch ha'aretz kivodo vayanu Amot Hasifim Mikol HaKoreh Vehavoti Vehavtaim Yimale Ashan Ve'omar Oli Hinidmeti Ki Ish Temesefatayim Anohi Uvtoch Amtame Sefatayim Anohi Yoshev Ki Et HaMelech Adonai Tsevaot Ra'u Einai Vaya'af Elai Echad Min Hasrafim Uvyado Ritzpah B'melkachayim Lekach Me'al Hamizbeach Vayaga Al Pi Vayomer Hine Nagazeh Al Sifatecha V'sar Aonecha V'chatatcha Techupar.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzaddik bekol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber u'mkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'linecha l'chavod u'ltifaret al ha'kol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mvarchim otach Yibarach Shimha Befi Chochai Tamid Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
We continue now as we prepare to return the Torah to its resting place in the Ark. We invite Alan Skirker to help us open the Ark, and as we turn to page 374, I invite you once again, please, to rise.
Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Ken Yisrael Shemo Levado, Hadal Eretz V'Shamayim, Vayarem Keren Le'amo, Te'ila Lechol Harzina, Livnei Yisrael, Al Keravo,
Page 586, as we continue and turn to our concluding prayers, the Aleinu, page 586.
לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגוי הרצות, ולא שמנו בנשמת משפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו להם, וגמור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשכירה בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו ואלוהינו, אמת מלכנו אפס וגדול, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, וידעת היום,
the many hands that help in the congregation. We turn now to those hands who have supported us, those hands, those hearts, those shoulders on which we have stood, those who have come before us. And we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This Shabbat marks a yahrzeit, an anniversary of passing for Maurice Cornell, Esther Hutkoff, Ann Nussbaum, Ruth Weiss, Margaret Olson, Anna Doran, Rose Burns, Gertrude Kessler, Gerald Usdane, Melvin Goldberg, Paul Buran, Jason Herrick, Esther Nemitz, Bernard Schwartz, Alfred Marcus, Ann Norrie, Kay Gibbons, Bernard Schwartz, Robert Rosen, Donald Stearns, Dorothy Katzel, Mordecai Brill, Hannah S. Cohn, Jack Tansman, Ann Ryback, Fanny Baker, Harry Sigalo, Goldie Shavinson, Sheldon Rudman, Alfred Stiller, Reuben Friedland, Leon Rosenfeld, Harold Green, Sari Lieberman, and Sophia Rollick-Steckloff. If there are any other names that you would add either to our yahrzeit list, or if this is a period of Shloshim, if you are within your 30 days of mourning, please would you share that name aloud with us. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing as we turn to page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kudusha b'rihu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all who are mourning, and to all Israel as we join together in saying, Amen. Please be seated. We want to thank all of our seventh graders. We want to thank Mrs. Rosenberg. We want to thank Tori. We want to thank all of you who have helped to prepare them in leading such a beautiful service. And we want to thank our minyan makers who come each week and ensure that we have not only a minyan, but we have all of those hands who can help and all of those hearts who are geared towards and directed toward being a part of this community and its support and its love and its success. We have religious school tomorrow morning, starting back, no snow forecasted, sorry everybody, but we have religious school tomorrow morning. We have, yay! We have adult education also at 9:30, and then we have Hebrew following that. We have Bogrim starting back this week in the new year, and that group meets 11th and 12th graders, meet tomorrow morning as well from 11 to 12. We have our new member brunch tomorrow as well. We have Purim. We have our Purim spiel and choir starting to rehearse. If you are interested, please be in touch with Cantor Braun. We have Winterfest coming. We have Men's Club Super Bowl party coming. We have 40s and 50s, first 40s and 50s gathering with the Gefilte Ria. We have a rain fundraiser as well. I am sure without my notes that I am missing something. So please, if there are other announcements that we should have, that we should know about, either in the temple community or any celebrations, any joys that we should know about from you, please would you let us know that as well. Yeah, Ellie. The Jewish Film Festival tomorrow night at the Dryden. Thank you. Thank you. At 7:30? Thank you. At 7, sorry, thanks.
Month of February.
Month of February, thank you. The month of February, each Friday night, the Disability and Accessibility and Inclusion Committee is helping us to focus our attention and to learn more and to advocate more around different needs within the community, our community and the broader community. Each Friday night in February, we'll have a different theme, a different topic to be highlighted. The first week in February will be around visual impairment and blindness, for which we have Para-Olympians joining us who are either visually impaired, thank you, or blind. And they will be joining us that evening, speaking from the pulpit, and then being a part of our Shabbat dinner with friends, where they will, in fact, be leading some different activities for us and to be teaching us more in a hands-on way. And then if you look in the bulletin and look on our website, you will see the next Friday nights as well, how those are being, the topic that we are focusing in on that Friday night as well. Anything else at all? Any successes, any joys, any birthdays in February, any anniversaries in February? Nice. No, coming up in February. Any in yours as well? Any in January or February? February? Great. Anybody have anything between now and the end of this month that they are celebrating or excited about?
My husband and my daughter are both having a birthday this week.
Both have birthdays this week?
Actually, my other daughter who's not here also.
Excellent. Mazel tov. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Mom? Is it Joyce? A birthday? Excellent. We wish you well. Please be sure to join us if you are in 7th grade or a 7th grade family member for the lunch following services. If you're in the Minyan Makers, lunch will be in the Youth Lounge as well. At Youth Lounge, yes? In the Youth Lounge, and we will continue as we head toward our closing song, Adon Olam, which can be found on page 626. Page 626.
625.
625. Mm-hmm. And the 7th graders will be standing.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, Be'efta Kol, Azay Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'acharei Kitlot HaKol, Le'vado Yimloch Nara, V'hu Haya, V'hu Haveh, V'hu Yihi B'tzifara, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, Ve'efta Kol, Adon Olam, Asher Adon Olam, Ve'hu
אדון עולם, אשר מלך, בטרם כל, יציר נברא, לעת נשא, והפצגו, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, אדון עולם, אשר מלך, בטרם כל, יציר נברא, לעת נשא, והפצע כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, בידו הפקיד רוחי, בעת ישן ועירה, ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדון לי ולא יירא, אדון עולם, אשר מלך, בטרם כל, יציר נברא, לעת נשא, והפצע כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, אדון עולם.
7th graders, join me please on the bima to make motzi, all of our 7th graders. Shabbat Shalom.
Pauline. I just
And I'm not sure what we
and she might be doing the discussion before lunch. I'm not sure. And then we'll do your credits and summary. Amen.